Each month, I like to take some time to sit down and think about some of the things that are important but not urgent, that are things I want to do as a parent and around my home. And so let's go ahead and go through some of the things I'd like to do this month. So it's springtime and I am feeling the energy. I'm feeling like I want to get more on top of things. Some of the things that I let slide in the winter, I'd like to get back into. And so I have found a growing need for me to make a to-do list in the morning. And if you know anything about me, I'm a type B person. I like to just do things randomly throughout the day. But I have found that there are several things that I want to get to that I have not been getting to. And so one thing I'm going to try this month is I'm going to try doing a to-do list in the morning before I start the day. And I'm really excited about the idea. I know a lot of people do to-do lists already, but I'm not a super hyper-productive type of person. And so I imagine my list is not going to be super structured, but I think I just want to review the day each morning and see where I can fit in some of these things that are important to me that I want to make sure I get done. And then another thing that has been on my mind that I really want to try this month is I want to try to check in with my kids before they go to bed each night. So last night I was super tired and I was just thinking, I actually said out loud, I said, man, I wish this day was over already. And lately I have been reading the book Simplicity Parenting. And he talks a lot about how sometimes our kids have what he calls soul fevers, these times in their lives when they're just having a difficult time. And one of the things he talks about is just making more time to spend time with your children. And I like to do this thing where we have 5 kids and I try to take one kid a week on a date to lunch on a Saturday. But that really isn't enough time, right? That's not enough one-on-one time. And I know a point of connection that a lot of people have is when their kids go to bed. And I'm really bad at that. And I'm often just so exhausted. But I have found that if I make time for these small little rituals, these small things that I do in the evening, that it really helps me enjoy parenting more. It helps me enjoy my kids more. And so I want to try that this month. I want to try and check in with my kids. Maybe find some questions I can ask them before they go to bed. Also, with checking in with your kids before going to bed, recently I was reading to my daughter before she goes to bed. We've been reading a book that I love. It's called All of a Kind Family. And it's about this family with 5 girls. And they live in New York City in the year 1900. And so all of these girls, they have one bedroom for all of them. And they share beds because it's the 1900s and there's just not a lot of room, not a lot of money. But all the girls share one bedroom and they really enjoy it. And it just reminded me, one of the things Kim Jong-Payne talks about in Simplicity Parenting is that you need to remember what your dreams were for your family. You need to remember what you wanted family life to look like. And when I read that in that book, it reminded me of a Pinterest pin that I pinned a million years ago, right? When my kids were little, that I just wished that they could have this little haven, this little room where all of their beds were and they could play. And you know, the way our house is set up now, it doesn't make sense to do something like that. But it just reminded me of kind of the culture I wanted to create in my family, something where we all love each other and we get along and we love spending time with each other. And I am hoping that spending time with my kids as they're trying to fall asleep, that's going to help them, that they are going to feel more of a connection. I also read this last month. I read Peaceful Parent, Happy Siblings, and it really helped me realize my role in helping my kids get along. And so I think if I can do more to be part of the change in my family to help people get along better, that is going to go a long way to helping my kids become better friends with each other. Another thing I want to get done this month is I want to get our garden in the ground. So last month I had a goal that we wanted to start some seeds, and we totally did that. And it's been super fun. My sons are both really into it, but one of my sons in particular has just kind of taken the whole thing over. He's really excited about it. He sat me and my husband down, wanted to figure out where the garden was going to be, and he wanted to be in charge of it. He helped me pick out all the seeds. And we are getting to that point where the frost date is finally coming close. And so we need to get our garden in the ground this upcoming month. Another goal I have this month is I want to work on my flower beds. Spring is here and my flower beds have exploded with weeds. And sometimes working on my flower beds feels overwhelming because there's just so many weeds and so many things I need to take care of. And I know if I have a goal, I'm more likely to work on it. So at the very least, I need to get these weeds out of here, and I'd like to get some more mulch put down, maybe put some new plants in the ground. I also like to keep records of our family. I have a personal family blog where I capture all the pictures we've taken from every month in one post. And so I'll get my pictures, I'll get my husband's pictures, I'll get my girls, my 2 teenage girls, I'll get their pictures, and I include it all in one spot. So I have 1 or 2 posts I need to do there. And along with that, I have been working on my youngest daughter's baby book. All my other kids, I've made them a book of their first couple of years of life. And my youngest, I just have never gotten around to it, even though she is 7 now. And so I've been slowly working on that. One of the things that I've realized with these important but not urgent goals is it really helps me to have this monthly check-in where I kind of see what I got done in the last month. But a lot of times what happens is I will wait till the very end when I know that I'm going to have to make this video, and I will do a bunch of things that I missed that month, which is great. Like, I'm glad that I have these monthly check-ins because it totally helps me get stuff done. But one of the things I want to try this month is I want to schedule some of these things. So I want to schedule time to work on the baby book. I want to schedule time to catch up on my blog. Another thing that I missed last month is I wanted to read a novel to my teenage girls. And so I want to talk to my girls and schedule that in. Another thing that I have been trying to do is memorize some scripture. So I actually picked out scripture. I think it's Psalm 129. I'm really bad with numbers. It's the one about the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. And I have started it. So I have a picture of it on my phone and I will read it. And it is so special. Like, sometimes it just makes me cry reading it to myself and trying to memorize it. But I'm not very good about remembering to do it every day. I would love to try and tackle it every single day until I have completely memorized the scripture. And so I think it's going to help if I make my to-do list each morning, but also I'm just adding it to my monthly goal that I want to try and memorize this entire scripture this month. And then lastly, another thought I had that would help me with my goals is to print out my goals. If you've been watching any of these videos over Christmas, I printed out my Christmas goals, and my kids were really good about reminding me what I needed to do and saying, "Hey mom, have you done that yet?" or helping me check things off. And so that was really motivating. And so I want to try that again, is try and print out my goals and put it on the fridge so my whole family can help me accomplish these things that are important to me. So that's what I am working on this month. I would love to hear what you are working on this month. I think it's so helpful to make goals that are important but not urgent, to kind of bring to the forefront of your mind some of those things that you've always wanted to do but you just don't get to. Every month I go back and look at my New Year's resolutions and I pick some things out that I think this would be a good month to try and tackle this. And I don't always get things done, but it's so helpful to have it written down, to review it, to think about it, to try and think about why it didn't work. One of the things I had listed for last month was I was trying to improve our family dinners. I'm still working on that. We have not made much progress on that. I know that having family dinners every night is really helpful to your family, but because of our schedule, we have not been able to make it work for most nights. And so I'm still just mulling that over, trying to think about ways we can improve our family life to make those kinds of things happen. So I hope this got your wheels turning, thinking about some things you can do with your family. Let me know in the comments what you're excited about, what you're planning on working on this spring. I'm so glad I got to sit down and talk through all of this, and I'll see you in the next one.